Moving on to City Council reports, and we'll start with Vice Mayor Cleveland.
My committees, there was only one, but I unfortunately was unable to go to. That was the Regional Water Committee, and that's one reason that I tried to step away from it, is because I'm having difficulty with my scheduling to be able to get to it. And the only other thing that's really happened publicly, which is the stroll that we had, which actually is part of the city, the DBA, and it was a enjoyable time. There's pictures on Facebook of all of us. So other than that, I have nothing.
Thank you very much. And Councilmember Preet Didball.
Well, with the holiday season here, most of our meetings were all canceled for the month of December, so we'll be resuming back in January, plus our new committees that we're involved in. Really, it was just the Christmas stroll this past week. Beautiful, as usual, and cold, but a great time with all of us hanging out and Christmas lighting and so forth. So that was about it on the committee side.
Thank you very much. Moving on to Councilmember Cashgill.
I was not able to make it to the Center Beach Flood Control Agencies last week. I was in Spokane at a banking conference. But prior to that, I was able to attend a meeting with myself and Mike Inimini, which we had set up a face-to-face meeting for the first time from chairman to chairman. We had a meeting with their chief, Chief Whitehouse from United Auburn. As we continue for 2016, we've got some huge areas that we need to concentrate on. And I think it's very, very important that we have a face-to-face meeting to air out some concerns instead of going back and forth through letters. And I think it was a very, very productive meeting. We walked away with agreeing to continue these face-to-face meetings and continue to work on some of these issues, because they're very, very aware that 2016 is something that's very important to us, that we do need to continue on the path if we want to fix some of these gaps that are within the levees as well. We are also at a section within the levee that will be working with the Enterprise Rancheria as well. And it's just a matter of bringing both of these tribes together. Even though there are many tribes, they've all working with Enterprise Rancheria or United Auburn as a lead agency. And so we'll continue to work and continue to get some of that. We did receive some additional funding for the Laurel Avenue area to do some design and some of that kind of work ahead of time. So that's a project that's been moving in. Just based upon the fact of the consistency, and it'll be brought up in next month's meeting, the committee has asked me to stay on as chairman for City Buttes Flood Control Agency, just for the dialogue that we have and with the tribes, and they feel it's very, very important to continue that. So I will continue that depending on the board's approval at next month's meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. And moving on to Councilmember John Dukes.
All right, had the Center Buttes Flood Control Agency meeting last week where we discussed the 5-year strategic plan. Where do we go from here? We have one more year of construction to finish out the project, but there's, as Councilmember Gill mentioned, the area south of Laurel Avenue, which we've received funding for, that's going to require some work, and we'll probably start that this year and continue that also. And then had a meeting with the Gilsizer Drainage District and Mosquito Vector. The only thing to report on Mosquito Vector is that this year statewide, we ended up with, I think it was 657 human cases of West Nile virus, which is down about 100 from previous years. However, the number of cases reported in Southern California are still on the increase, which is something that is kind of unusual for this time of year. Typically it dies down once we get beyond September or so, but we've still had increases in that area. So certainly something that we need to keep an eye on and look at the new invasive species that have come into the state, and hopefully they won't make their way to Northern California. And then also just like to wish everyone a happy Merry Christmas. It's coming up before our next meeting, so just I'd like to say that. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you very much. And I was able to attend the tree lighting ceremony and dinner at the senior center. Always a lot of fun to light up a tree with lights. Man, the blank stares I just got was like, it's not what I meant. But anyway, just a great time and a wonderful event for our community and certainly a wonderful event for our seniors. And also attended the stroll and was able to participate in a parade with Santa Claus. Yeah, you know, Santa and Mrs. Claus were there, and I saw, you know, some individuals that I recognize, and, you know, they're at the very same time. You know, Santa's out there, and then, you know, I see Manny, you know, who's over here in the back with his arms crossed and everything there at the same time, and it's just a great time out on the stroll in Yuba City, and certainly one of those great assets of our community. And with that, I would like to adjourn this meeting with a very merry Christmas and a
Happy New Year.
and a happy New Year if we all don't see each other again.
Happy Merry Christmas. So there you go.